to this restorative yoga practice to prepare for the next phase of the menstrual cycle. And then just extending the legs out in front of you for a few breaths here. You can take some half moon neck circles here, just dropping the chin to the chest and rocking the left ear over to the left shoulder, and then taking the right ear over to the right shoulder. And doing this as many times as feels good for you. Whenever you're ready, bring your chin back to your chest, bring the head back into a neutral position. And preparing for our next posture, which is a wide angled forward fold here, or a wide-legged forward fold. So you'll sit sideways on your mat and extend the legs out, making sure that your heels are on your mat, your buttocks is on your mat, and if not, then just take some padding underneath of your heels. So you can just put some blankets underneath of the heels and the legs so that the legs and the feet stay warm, and also so that the feet aren't pressing down into hard flooring. And then making sure that your pelvis is neutral, so you want to have both of your sits bones resting comfortably on the mat, and if they're not, then sitting your buttocks on a blanket, setting up your blocks or your pillows or your bolsters in front of you. So one block on the high setting, one block on the medium setting, and then leaning your bolster or your pillows up against the blocks. Drawing the end of the bolster into the groin. Extending the legs out in front of you. And if your hamstrings are really tight, then you can even roll up some blankets or small towels and put those underneath of your knees, so that as you begin to fold forward, you're not overstretching the muscles of the hamstrings or the glutes. Allow your feet to fall in wherever they may. Maybe they're collapsing inward, or maybe they collapse backward. That's totally fine. Whichever way feels the most natural for you. And then whenever you're ready, slowly lowering yourself over top of your bolster. Again, you can cover yourself up with a blanket. Just making sure that wherever you are, that there's not too much tension in the legs. And again, the pelvis is nice and neutral and comfortable. The arms are just resting out in front of you. You can use blocks or pillows underneath of the forearms and elbows if you need to. Palms facing up or down. And then you can adjust the incline for as high or as low as you need it. Again, settling into the breath, and with each breath, just allowing that womb breath to move from the crown of the head down into the earth beneath you. So allowing those roots to spread out underneath of the legs. You can visualize them spreading out and away from you. Letting the breath guide you into stillness, into rest. Deep, even inhales and exhales. 5 more breaths in and out. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes, pressing your palms into the mat and slowly bringing yourself up into a seated position. Just resting the hands on either the thighs or the shins and just integrating those sensations. Whenever you're ready, just removing the bolster and the blocks and preparing for our final restorative posture. So this is an elevated calf Shavasana. So you'll be elevating your calves and your ankles in your Shavasana just to allow the legs to relax, to allow the pelvis to fully kind of melt into the mat. So you have a few options here. If you have pillows, you can just stack 2 pillows and then rest so that your calves are fully supported and your heels and your feet are all the way on the pillows. If you have 4 blocks, then you can use all 4 blocks, just kind of stacking them all close together and then resting the calves and the feet on top of them. If you only have 2 blocks, then you can use 2 blocks and rolled blankets or pillows or a bolster to support the calves and the feet. So then once you have the calves and the feet elevated on top of your blocks, bolsters, or pillows, you can cover your legs up with a blanket. You can use an eye pillow here, whatever it is that you need to get as comfortable as possible in your elevated calf Shavasana. So just taking your time to settle in. And as you lie yourself back, just using your arms for support to bring yourself back and down to the mat. Again, if you need a neck roll, you can put a small blanket or rolled towel underneath the curve of the neck. Notice the heaviness of the pelvis. Soften through the hip creases. Notice the natural rhythm of the breath as you inhale through the nose and exhale through either the mouth or the nose. And just being aware of a gentle sense of expansion and rising on the inhales, and a gentle sense of contracting and lowering or sinking on the exhales. Notice how it feels to be here with the legs elevated, with the pelvis heavy on the mat. Be aware of the natural curve of the spine, the backside of the ribs resting on the mat. You can tuck the shoulders under slightly here, and you can either rest the arms over the heart center, over the abdomen, or the arms by your sides with the palms facing up or down. You decide. Notice the points of contact between the backside of the body and the earth beneath you. The breath is your guide as you settle back into stillness and rest. And for these last 5 breaths, taking one hand over the heart and one hand over the womb space. Being aware of the breath as it moves between the heart center and the womb space. Notice the warmth of your hands. Notice the rising and falling of the torso. Whenever it feels right for you, beginning to wiggle the fingers and toes, circle the wrists and the ankles. Gently turning the head from side to side. Stretching the arms and the legs. And whenever you're ready, bending one knee and then the other, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat and making your way on to your side, lying in the fetal position here. 5 breaths. Whenever you're ready, using your arms for support, gently pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position, whether that's cross-legged or sitting in Virasana. Taking the hands into Yoni Mudra, thumbs and index fingers touching, gently resting the hands over the space of the womb. Breathing down into the earth. 5 full breaths. Grounding yourself in this phase, mentally, physically, and emotionally preparing yourself for this next phase. And then softly blinking, bringing the hands together in front of the heart, rubbing the hands together, building warmth and heat. And then gently placing the hands over the eyes, letting that warmth soak into the face. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Sliding the hands down the face towards the back of the neck. And then bringing the palms together in front of the heart, giving gratitude, blessings, and thanks for your cyclical nature, for your beautiful and amazing body, for this day and for this life. This practice of yoga is complete. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice, and I'll see you again next time.